It is match week 2 in the Premier League. So we're going to do Premier League predictions for match week 2. Starting from tonight, a London derby between West Ham and Chelsea. West Ham looked horrible against Sunderland in the opening game. But Chelsea looked a bit shaky. I mean, not that shaky. They struggled against Crystal Palace in that 0-0 draw. I think Chelsea have to get these 3 points. So I'm going to go for a score prediction of 2-0 to Chelsea. Then we got Manchester City versus Tottenham. Now this is going to be a very interesting game and an entertaining game. Both teams looked obviously solid and superb in their opening 3 games. I reckon this could be a close game, to be fair. Man City with a home advantage, they look like the favourites, but I'm backing Spurs to get a result. So I'm going to go Manchester City 2, Tottenham 2. Then we got Bournemouth versus Wolves. Now, both teams lost their opening game, but I think Bournemouth, with the home advantage, I think Bournemouth can win this game. So I'm going to go to Bournemouth to win this game 3-0. Then we got Brentford versus Aston Villa. Brentford looked a bit poorly against Nottingham Forest. And Aston Villa, listen, they play poor as well against Newcastle in that goalless draw. But for me, I think Aston Villa could win this game. So I'm going to go 1-0. I think it's going to be very tight, but I'm going with a Villa away win. Now, a championship clash from last season. Burnley versus Sunderland. 2 newly promoted teams. However, Burnley looks like they could be the ones going straight back down. However, Sunderland, I think they could be the ones to stay up in the Premier League. So I'm actually going to go for a away win. So I'm going to go for Sunderland to beat Burnley by 2-1. And now Arsenal versus Leeds United. Both teams did get opening wins on the opening day. But for me, I think it's going to be an Arsenal win. I think there'll be a lot of goals in that game as well. So I'm going to go for score prediction of Arsenal to beat Leeds United 3-0. Then we got Crystal Palace taking on Nottingham Forest. And this game was it's all about who's meant to be in the correct European competition. Obviously, Palace were meant to be in the Europa League, but demoted to Conference again. Nottingham Forest were in the Europa League. Something about flipping Maranaka's owner or something. But anyways, both teams, actually, Crystal Palace, I think they were resilient against Chelsea, and Nottingham Forest, I think they were solid against Brentford. I'm going to edge it to Crystal Palace, so I'm going to go for Crystal Palace to win this game 2-1. Everton versus Brighton. Everton, I feel bad for Everton, because obviously that late penalty, which was never a penalty in my opinion, but it is what it is. And Brighton were unlucky not to hold on against Fulham. So I think I'm going to edge it to the home team. Everton in their new stadium, their fans will be up for it. So I'm going to go for Everton to win this game 1-0. Then we got Fulham versus Manchester United. And listen, Manchester United, we were looking way better despite the loss against Arsenal. But we got a very tough start to this season. Even though Fulham snatched a late point against Brighton. So I reckon it could go both ways. It could be a draw, but I could back Manchester United to win. So I'm backing United to win. So I'm going to say 3-2 to Manchester United. Then we got Monday night, Newcastle taking on Liverpool. And this is basically about the Alexander Isak derby, which is absolutely insane. So I think it's going to be a very tight game, but proper entertaining. I'm going to go for a score prediction of 1-1 between Newcastle and Liverpool. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And what do you think about these predictions? Make sure to like up and follow for more content. Smash a like on the video. And let me know your thoughts down below in the comments.